Hello everybody, this is SpyPie for SpyPie Gaming TV, and we normally cover ESO content on this channel, but today I'm going to be going into some industry coverage and what I feel like is going on with battle passes. Today's world in monetization and battle pass structures have become kind of entangled into cosmetics and how we interact with the games that we play, right? And we play a lot of games here at Spy Pie. I'm sure everyone else does too. We mainly play ESO, but we also like to enjoy our time on, say, Halo Infinite, where I've been playing a lot of hours on Halo Infinite, as well as hours in even Fortnite. I don't typically play Fortnite, but I have people that play Fortnite that I play with, and I have people that play other games that I play with them as well. And I'd like to talk about cosmetics and how they've changed and why the battle pass structure really is kind of the problem going forward and why I worry about it moving forward into, well, we're going into more of a modern era of gaming. The modern era of gaming has continued to grow in a different structure than what was there when we first started gaming. And I'd first like to cover when I'm talking about, specifically when I'm talking about the battle pass. So battle pass structures, for anyone who's not aware, is that I'm sure everyone is aware, but I'm going to go through it really quickly. Is that you play a game, and at the end of the match you get XP, and that XP levels up your battle pass, which is essentially an MMO structure, right? Where you gain XP, and through XP you gain skills or perks, or you gain whatever. However, however, battle passes have become more of a cosmetic only system, right? And cosmetics used to be handled differently for people who are maybe younger into gaming or haven't played games in the older games, or maybe just started jumping into games. You might not understand that uh, these items that we're getting in battle passes used to be items that you could get just naturally through gameplay. So the first item I'd like to kind of talk about is the the Halo skin that a lot of people really, really love. It's the samurai armor, right? The samurai armor was, I mean, honestly, a ridiculously difficult item to get back in Halo 3. You had to essentially be one of the top players, right? You had to be in your game, you had to be on your stuff, right? And by doing that and by achieving certain achievements in the game, you unlocked it by winning in player versus player. And nowadays, that kind of item is shoved off on battle passes. It's shoved off on to, well, any other form of monetization. And Halo Infinite is specifically the one I'm really targeting here because I do enjoy the game. I really do. But its battle pass structure is really, really aggressive. And I'd like to kind of explain why I think that. So, at first, you don't have to pay for these. You don't have to. That's what they always say. They are completely cosmetic. They offer no advantage. They offer no whatever, right? But Halo Infinite has armor cores. And for anyone who's not up to date on what Halo Infinite's armor cores are, is you have currently, I believe there are 3 or 4 suits worth of full armor. And when you earn an item in the battle pass, you earn an item for a specific armor core. Now, the issue with that is that this even extends to paints. This extends to things like helmets, shoulder pads, like even your kneecaps, right? Like, and so because of that, the items that we used to earn in games have now been shoved off into technically you're earning them, but they're expecting money for the bulk of the items, the majority of the items, and I'll go into why I think that's a problem. So recently, I've been playing Halo Infinite, and the Rashada armor is one of my favorites that they've come out with. This armor core that they have, this Rashada armor core, and for it, I have an entire wave of what was a weekly event. I earned it all, and I am wearing it all, or most of it, right? And The problem is that I don't have the paint jobs I like to use on the default armor core. I can't use my orange. I prefer to run around in orange. So I have to use, if I use Rashada, I have to use this kind of tannish brown. And I'd like to dissuade the idea that cosmetics don't have an advantage, or at least some kind of level of interaction with the player that may make them play better. We know that certain colors have even provoked some people's way of playing. Like, if you're on the red team or the blue team, the red team's going to play more aggressively, and the blue team's going to play more strategically. This is something that's gone into a psychological level. So, when we're talking about colors of your armor, you may actually get a benefit from being a certain color on a game. You may actually get a benefit from playing with orange or with purple. Not only that, but players typically play better when they feel comfortable with what they look like in the game. I've met many people that don't want to play a game with me because they jump into the game and they're having fun, but I look so much more badass than they do. My character has this awesome armor. He has this, you know, whole transmog set out, right? And I have an outfit on, and they look like a scrub. And so you wanna build a community around, cosmetics. You want to build that kind of structure with cosmetics that people feel like they can engage with in a meaningful way. And the way that they do it is by just playing the game, right? Because if they're feeling like they are forced to pay into a system, then they're not going to want to do that because they're going to look stupid otherwise. So then why even play the game? The battle pass structure also has an issue when it comes to what is free and what is not. Some battle passes have free structures where you can earn certain armors or certain colors or certain whatever um, for your character by just playing naturally. You don't have to pay for anything, but most of them always offer a paid version of it, and it overlaps with the battle pass that you have as is. Paying for a battle pass can become a real, like, almost a drive, almost a reason that in its own, right? You have been playing, you've put in XP, you've earned essentially, say 30 items, but you've only gotten 5. You've only gotten 5 things that you can use. Well, well then why am I playing? If I've earned 30 items, but I only have 5 that I can use, then like my XP's wasted. And then it starts to bring in this fear of missing out because you are missing out. You're missing out on cosmetics that you have put in the time for, but you're no longer having. You don't have those. Those aren't yours. So when a game has a battle pass system, it can really draw in people to purchase that thing because they've already put so many hours in. They've already unlocked, say, the half the battle pass or the full battle pass. They've already done it all. They just don't have the items to prove it. And that definitely hampers the experience. That definitely creates a structure of I have to pay to unlock what I've done, what I've gotten. Some battle passes even offer you in-game currency, which Fortnite does on its own. Typically, if you complete the battle pass within the allotted time, because these are all time sensitive, you will typically earn enough in-game currency to almost or afford the next battle pass. But to do that, you have to put in an insane amount of hours. What would be almost basically putting that into your get full game rotation. That is your main game or one of your main games. This is a game you're playing every day. This is a game you're going to be playing not only every day, but like for extensive hours too. Halo Infinite is honestly atrociously difficult to level up in unless you are specifically playing the game modes that they ask you to. Now, I personally, my favorite game in Halo, and this may sound like a little bit of a shock, but I love Oddball. That's my favorite one. That is the game mode that I find the most fun with, as well as Ninja Slayer. I enjoy Ninja Slayer. I enjoy Sniper Slayer. I enjoy Capture the Flag, and I definitely enjoy Capture the Point. Um, but I do not enjoy as much of Slayer. I don't enjoy, basic Slayer. I don't enjoy Strongholds as much, and I definitely pivot away towards some of the other party games and stuff like that that they have. And for that, like, I don't like attrition. But the thing is, for today, if you want to level up fast, you need to play attrition. You need to play Strongholds and attrition. And by the time you've gotten done with that, now you can play the game how you want. You're forcing people to play a game a specific way to unlock anywhere into the battle pass, to unlock any kind of progress in it. And that really does suck because you're playing so much of games you don't want to play. I don't enjoy attrition. I don't. I personally, I enjoy hardcore, Slayer as well. I know that's not the official name for it, but the the one where if you basically get shot twice, you're dead. It's essentially hardcore mode from Call of Duty, and that one is super fun because it's more snappy and quick turn, and you're very much like focused in, right? But what if I am, say, a casual player, more of a casual player, right? And I'm not expecting to unlock the full battle pass, but what I am expecting is to at least look cool for my efforts, right? Or at least look somewhat, awesome, right? I'd like to have something for my work here. Well, what would I get? Well, very few things. You get very few things, and you'd be playing a lot of game modes that you probably don't enjoy. So, say you don't want to do that. You say, look, I'm not going to worry about the daily rewards. I'm not going to worry about the weekly rewards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus in and play the game how I want to play it. Well, good luck, because you need 1,000 XP to level up. Now, your first game of the day will give you, I believe, 250 to 300 XP. Your second game will give you another 200. And then from there, you'll typically be getting 50 XP a game per day, or per game for the rest of the day. 50 XP. Okay? I don't need to tell you the math on that, but I'll go ahead and explain it to you. So, 50 XP, you need 1,000 to level up, all right? You're just going to play the games you want to play. You're going to play the game how you want to play because that's what gaming is, right? Is finding the way you enjoy it and playing that specifically because you love, love Chaos Ball like I do. Or sorry, Oddball like I do. I'm using Elder Scrolls Online terms once again. You love Oddball, and you've decided just to queue Oddball for 20 games, okay? That's going to take you a long time. I believe every game of Oddball can take up to 10 minutes. Now, if you were to go ahead and multiply that, that's going to be 200 minutes, and divide that by 60. That will be 3.333 repeating hours that you will have to play to level up one time. One time. All right? And then expand that out to another, what would be 100 levels. You will have to play 333.33 repeating hours of Oddball before you can unlock the Battle Pass. And you think, wow, 300 hours, like some of us don't even have that. I do. I'm a YouTuber. I can literally play games as a living, and I can do that, because of the community I've built up, and I'm very thankful for that. But most people work. Most people have a full-time position. And most people don't have 300 hours to put into a game over even a year sometimes, or whatever. They're busy people, and maybe kids have that amount of time, in between your homework and whatnot. But then consider how long you have to do a battle pass, which is typically about half a year. 6 months is the longest extension that you have. So within 6 months, you have to play 333 hours of Oddball to fully level up your account. And for a lot of people, that's not feasible. That's just not feasible. Like, if you think about it in real terms, say you work 40 hours a week and you come home and you just want to play your game, right? And you play 2 or 3 hours a day, which is more than the majority of people would, right? Because a lot of people have things to do in their day to day. So you play 2 hours a day, all right? And you will, uh, well, it'll take you 166 days to get everything in it, which is over the battle pass requirements. If you play 2 hours a day, you won't get everything. 2 hours a day. That's like, I think that's plenty. If you're playing for 166 days for 2 hours a day, you should definitely be able to earn a battle pass worth of items. I think that's feasible. Um, and I don't think many of these things should be locked. A lot of these things are just artificially locked. These are codes. These are essentially just, they're not real items, right? They're not real tangible things. So the reason that they're being sold to you, the data on them is being sold to you, is just so that you can like feel good about your achievements, which was already a thing in gaming. And so now we're going to take a step back from all the current battle pass systems, and we're going to look back at one of my favorite MMOs, or was one of my favorite MMOs, and its structure of how cosmetics worked. World of Warcraft. I have pulled up on my screen for you guys, right? Is my collections, my mount tab in World of Warcraft. I haven't played in over a year. I didn't play the expansion before the current one. I stopped during Legion, so like it's been quite a while since I've played, but I can go through this and tell you exactly where I earn these items, right? And that's the issue that I'm going to be. This is recorded after I actually recorded an entire like 20 minutes worth of um, like talking about this, right? But I'm gonna put this in the video somewhere. Is that like I can look at this and I can say, look, this deep dark water skate. I remember how I got that, right? And I remember what I did to get it. I was fishing off the side of Dalaran, and I was there for like 3 days. And I was just fishing and fishing and fishing and fishing, building up a reputation with this dude, all right? This dude who's on a floating island for in the middle of like Dalaran. Like it's Dalaran is a floating city, and he's over on the side. I fished for 3 days and got this mount. It was ridiculous. I don't know why I did it, but I did it. And let's see, looking through this, like the Shawford Mechaneer's chopper, that thing is stupid, but like I remember how I got that too. That was by buying heirlooms, and what you had to do is you had to buy a certain amount of heirlooms. I believe you had to fill the collection even, and by filling the collection or buying a certain amount of heirlooms, I believe it may have been like 20 or 30 of them, you got this mount. And I don't even remember the specifics, but I remember how I got that. I remember what I did to get it. And that mount was able to be used at level 1. So that was a player advantage gained by player skill in a way because it was a gold sink. The Brim Deep bottom feeder. This guy, oh man, he was a mess. I remember I fished for this one too. This one actually may have been the Dalaran one. The Deepwater Skate, no, the Deepwater Skate I remember now was from the Dark Moon Fair, and the Brim Deep feeder, he was from the Dalaran fishing. It's literally been years. Like this Legion was out in 2016. And so I'm a little bit, not entirely in remembrance of it, but I remember what I was doing during this time to achieve these things. This right here came out of a Mr. Pandaria raid, which was vaults of oh, my brain is kind of escaping me on this one, but it was a Mr. Pandaria raid. I farmed it, and Asmongold had actually gotten his, right? And I was like, dang, man, I really want that. So I went and did it and got it first try. I was so excited. Ashes of Alar. This one right here, I had gotten it in the mail, and I logged off that character, right? Because my bags were full. And I'd logged off that character for like 30 days almost. Like almost 30 days. I came back, I had like a couple hours left to grab it out of the mail. I almost lost this mount due to just not playing that character because I was raiding. And I got ashes, and oh my god, I was so excited to have it. And I remember feeling excited about it. And I remember feeling like I actually earned it, even though it had taken way too long to get it. I felt like I had earned it. Going through here even more, like this right here, the Grove Warden. This came from doing, I believe, heroic or mythic version of the last raid in Warlords of Draenor. this mount. You had to be there during that time, but if you could get in the group, they had a thing called Free the Moose. Esmongold ran a Free the Moose campaign where he would invite people, and all you had to do is be there for Archimond. And if you watched Archimond die, and you were there, and you tagged the boss even a slight bit, you got this moose. It was a great promotional event by Asmongold and many other streamers and channels too. They were all doing this because the moose was awesome. I loved it, and all you had to do was jump in for it. And I actually had a raiding guild at the time that I got this with on my own. So I felt accomplished because while everyone kind of got theirs for free or whatever, like I actually felt like I had earned mine, and I definitely felt good about it. This right here, the High Lord's Golden Charger, Valorous Charger, Vengeance Charger, Vigilant Charger. These three, right? Oh, these four, sorry. These four here, like all of these were very important mounts. Like, and these were your class order hall mounts, right? So you got these at the end of Legion, like almost the tail end of Legion, and like you got one of them for your spec. But then you had to also go and finish out the weapons. They had a system tied into the weapons, and you don't need to understand or like, have played to kind of get it, but you had to have farmed out your other weapons, and it was quite a grind at that time, right? So I did it. I got all my specs leveled out, and then for that I also got the other charger for it as well, and I felt really good about it. I did the similar thing here with my hunter, which was my main like. I loved the hunter, and even though I played a paladin for so long, the hunter was where I felt most comfortable. um, the Icebound Wraith Charger. I remember getting this. This thing was awesome. All right, so this right here, I got this for time walking achievements, right? So you went and you did time walking, which was essentially you would go back and do old content, but with it scaled up to your level. For us in Elder Scrolls Online, that's just normal, but for World of Warcraft, that wasn't at the time. So they had scaled up these old dungeons, and we were going back in to kill the bosses, and you got these badges. You got like essentially currency, and this one was really expensive. Took me like a year because I was in actually a raiding guild. I was doing a lot of content outside of this, and so I just didn't have a lot of time to actually sit down and do these as much as I would like to. And I remember getting it and feeling like, man, this is the height. This is the height right here. I feel like I've earned it. And the Lowithian Prowler that came from Suramar. Suramar. I remember Suramar, right? Many people probably don't, but Suramar was a questing hub that was like if you remember it, you either remember it as being the best story that Blizzard ever told, or like I hated it because it was an attunement and you had to do it to get into the dungeon. I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. And they had this thing called the um wither training. Wither training, and at the end of it you had a chance to get a bunch of different things, including hidden artifact weapons even. And that right there, that mount, I got it week 1. I got it week 1. I was the first one in my group to get it, and then like no one else in my group got it. Like I had a group of guys that I played with. I had a raid guild, but I had like my own little group, and those guys, none of them got it. Nixian Drake, I got that like really early when I was like barely even playing. I was sucked at the game back then. The sea turtle, yeah, that one was for fishing in Draenor. I remember fishing in Draenor, and I ended up pulling it. You had to fight a thing whenever you got it. It was a fun experience. I got in a group with like 40 people and got it in like a day, so it wasn't necessarily anything that was too fast, you know what I mean? Or too slow. Like I didn't really work for it that much, but I was happy to have gotten it. Oh, the X 53 touring rocket. That right there. I remember getting that. That was actually a thing that's I was recruiter friended by my brother into the game. So I got that for it. And I remember all these things from a time when these things mattered. Like, see, you could see Shadowlands. I didn't care about Shadowlands. Battle for Azeroth. I didn't give a fuck. Sorry about cursing if you're not cool with that. Like, our Chromie. I didn't give a dang about Chromie, right? Dang diddly dang do. And Argusian Reach, yeah. Army of Legionfall, yeah. Army of Light, yeah. Conjurer Magros, yeah. Like all of these dudes, I was in this. This was my stuff, man. And Keeper Renee. I don't remember him, but I do definitely remember the Conjurer Margos because that was the fishing one, and where I was his best friend. We were best buddies. Warlords of Draenor. I didn't play this character during Warlords, so he didn't really actually get into very much here. Even Cataclysm. I went back and got the Avengers of Hyjal, and the Ashen Verdict from Wrath of the Lich King, and like, of course, you're hated by them and stuff like that. But like this was my character during just Legion, and when Armies of Legionfall came out, I spent the first week farming this out so that I could get a transmog piece, a singular transmog piece, all right? And that was it. And like these things here, I even remember these. I never did battle paths really. I didn't. I didn't care for them. But this was for the I want to say 12th year anniversary of World of Warcraft. I remember getting just all these items. These things were very important. Like these were not necessarily important to your role, like what you did in the game, but these were important to you because you earned them. Like you actually had to go out and put in the time and effort, and you got what you got for them. And I know that I only have like 120 unique pets, but that's because I think last time I played, I tried to sell off about, I don't know, 400 of them. Um, like I just remember really being invested. Like Fishy, oh that came from Warlords of Draenor, that came from Molten Core, that came from Cataclysm Quest, that came from well in the world actually. Um, this right here, this came from I want to say Battle for Azeroth, maybe Shadowlands, because I barely played them, but I do remember that. That came from Mag um, yeah, Lord Magmar, Maglamar, whatever, from Wrath the Lich King, ICC. This came from Blackwing Descent. This came from the Oldaman or Oldawar. Um, let's see, I'm trying to think here. I remember this one. This one came from Warlords. This model specifically, I remember when this model came in. This came from Mr. Pandaria. These right here, these fire bats. These came from, so this one right here, Fellbat Pup. This was a promotional event that happened right before Legion came out, and I was playing right before Legion came out, so I got them. I got all of them. I got like 20 of them in my bank for no reason. I was gonna try and sell them, but then they turned out to not be, valuable. Oh, there's when Baby Shark came out. This is the baby. This is the Baby Shark meme. This is the Baby Shark meme. That's all you need to know about that one. Let's see. I'm trying to think here. Like this right here. I remember getting this one out in Burning Crusade. Like one of the islands out or one of the isles out there. I remember going out there and I picked them up because I was like, I kind of just want a pint-sized pachyderm. This was the PvP set for Warlords of Draenor. That was the Ashbringer. That right there, that tabard. That tabard is from ICC by doing the entire quest line as a paladin, warrior, or death knight. I believe were the only three classes that were able to do it. And for it, you got a ton of things. You got like cosmetics. You got this tabard specifically, and mine's of course like it says it's transmogged to the wrong thing. You never really trust what they have to say here on the armory. But like I even have other characters on the accounts, such as Grimace. This was my Windwalker monk, which was like honestly probably my favorite character, even though I didn't play him enough. Like he was definitely one of the favorites that I had. Let's see all my characters here. Oh, never mind. I just need to click on him. The Survival Hunter, right there. Gramus. There we go. Yeah, I kind of use the same names over and over again. I understand, but look, there's Sephuzes. I remember getting Sephuzes for this character. I did not play my hunter enough during, and I really wish I had. And then of course Battle for Azeroth came out, and I just wasn't interested anymore. But I remember, like, yes, there's my three pets: Turtle, Hyena, and Crocolisk. This guy right here, ooh, yeah, baby. Like, it was such a good one. It was great. It was great. Like, this turtle was so good. and player versus player talent. Like I don't even know anything about this. I don't know. Like really, it's been so fucking long since I've even played anything for this character that I can't tell you what's even on them anymore. But I can tell you where I got the items if you show them to me. And this was kind of just an admittment into the video that is going on like currently that you're watching is that battle passes suck because I can tell you where I earned this, but I can't tell you a damn thing about where I earned anything else. So like I have the battle pass open here and like I'm looking through this. I'm actually watching this back, but the survival of the fittest, like I technically unlocked it, but I haven't. That helmet that I have shown on screen here, I don't know about that one. The lone wolf charm, not I don't have it, but I have it. UAD type, I have a foot pad or a knee pad. Like that's real cool. I can't tell you what I was doing to earn these things except playing the game. That was it. I was just playing the game, and that's how I earned these things. And that's not a fulfilling way of doing it. I can't tell you a story of how I got these items. I can't tell you what I was doing to get these things. I can't tell you what was in my mind whenever I was going for these items, and that sucks. Um, I really wish that like, player skill mattered again. Not even just player skill, but like, player engagement. Because engagement doesn't mean hours played, and it doesn't mean hours played. It means how long are you willing to like actually, invest into a certain path? And I think that's really important. If you started playing World of Warcraft back in 2005 or 2004 or 2006, whatever, that era, whenever it was just coming out, depending on where you're from and where you're, located, if you were playing World of Warcraft, you knew when someone had the Arcanite Reaper. You knew when someone had gone out and finished Molten Core. And the reason you knew it was because they looked like they had. They had the Judgment armor, right? This guy had been in Blackwing Descent, so you knew he had Judgment armor. That armor had a status with it. If you were playing in Burning Crusade and someone came up to you with the Warglaives, you knew not to mess with him or to get like ask him how he got him or ask if you could run with him because you want those Warglaives, right? You're a rogue and that's a warrior with them. And you're like, all right, those are my items. Give them to me, right? And so you knew where they came from. You knew the power of them because everyone had been talking about these items and they were out there in the world. You could see them, just not all the time. They were rare. The ability to feel good about what you earned, it's become slightly stripped away as cosmetics have become an overlap system where your armor that you wear is rarely ever shown, right? You don't typically look like you have done anything specific because you look how you have designed your character to look. But in that, I think we can find a lot of players typically prefer to wear armor that does represent the content that they have achieved. Not always, but most of the time. If there is an awesome sword that came out of a raid you just did, you're gonna make your swords look like that because you want to feel like you've achieved something. But the problem is when everyone else starts to run that item, you don't feel very unique in the item that you've gained. So, this is why I think that battle pass systems are even a faulty design on the line of like character growth, right? Your character doesn't grow because the battle pass is essentially one, it can be paid for, and two, it's an entire time sink, right? So really there's no skill involved. You can lose all of those games of oddball. You can lose every single one of them, but you played a match. So you would have the full battle pass unlocked, but who cares, right? Like you didn't earn it necessarily any more than anyone else did by playing the same way that they would play normally. By giving challenges, right? What they're doing is they're kind of tricking the mind into believing that you're achieving something. But in reality, the achievements used to be something that would reward you with an item, a specific piece of gear, a specific type of thing that you could then flaunt on its own. because you achieved that place. You did that dungeon. You did that raid. You did that achievement. You made the achievement and got the awesome samurai armor. But no longer is that kind of the case where player skill is no longer calculated into your cosmetics, because cosmetics are essentially a free for all anymore. Everyone can kind of get everything depending on time investment, rather along the lines of player growth, player skill, player advantage, where you're playing, like how long you've been playing, what your kind of general, like if you have a team, right? If you have a team, you should be able to probably get items faster, but that doesn't necessarily apply anymore because, well, I mean, everyone's on their own battle pass, and it doesn't really matter if your team's killer, you still get the same XP for essentially demolishing the other team in Halo Infinite as you would for getting your face pummeled into the ground and teabagged by the nearest guy in the samurai outfit. It's a pullback from cosmetics being a thing that you wanted to a thing that you feel like everyone else will either have or everyone can get by just doing nothing. You don't I don't personally particularly feel connected to many of the items I have on my characters in Elder Scrolls Online. Why? Because a lot of my items that I purchase through the guild store are that. They're purchased through the guild store. I don't particularly go out and farm motifs myself. Now, that is because I spend my time farming in gold. And because of that, I can turn around and purchase these things. Now that is an earned way of doing it. That is a way that you've earned what you've done, but it also still leads into the same problem where I have the Sunfire swords or Sunspire swords, and I've never been in Sunspire. Honestly, genuinely, I haven't. And so by not being there, I still have the items, and it does diminish the value of the people who put in the time to get there. And I understand that. And so you should definitely reward player skill. And so when I look at how I feel like a game should be monetized, considering that some of these games are free, okay? So when it comes to free games, they have a right, I believe, to monetize their game a little bit more towards cosmetics, right? And I prefer cosmetics even though they are definitely part of the problem here. I prefer cosmetics because the only alternative is player extension through monetization, and you cannot artificially bump skill with that. You can't. It doesn't matter if you're selling an aimbot. Like a crappy player is still gonna get beat on eventually. Yeah, he's gonna get a few more kills than normal, but so what? Like, he's not good, right? So when it comes to it, it's what do I think is the most fair? Well, I think if a game is free, the monetization can definitely be skins and cosmetics, but I don't think there needs to be a reason to lock certain cosmetics behind certain things like the armor cores in Halo Infinite. As well as, I think if you pay for something cosmetic, it should be something that is unlocked for your entire account. Like, a lot of games aren't that way about it, and they're very particular, and like this weapon skin only goes on SMGs, and you're like, why? Why? Doesn't make any sense to me. So extending that out would be helpful, as well as unlocking some of those paid for battle pass items. I think there's a lot of players that would prefer to play your game, especially if they felt like they could earn what they were doing. If you're going to have a battle pass, you should definitely have it based around a simple cosmetics, and then have achievements for the battle pass season. Have things that are difficult to achieve, have certain statuses, things that you can like represent your person as. Say if you were to do a battle pass and you have an XP system, but off to the side it says kill 500 players in team deathmatch, unlock this helmet. Okay, all right. That's awesome. That works. That works enough where you still have to be good. You still have to have played right. You still have to have like actually given it your all to get there and get that helmet. And by doing that and have it sit there for the entire Battle Pass season, that's an achievement. That's what you've done. So that's how you unlock this helmet. Have players have enjoyable ways to engage with the system and a way to track their progress, especially with things like, player skill, because it doesn't lock anyone out of having it. It really doesn't. As many people might say, oh, well, I'm not good at games and I think I should have a win anyway, like the people, like, games journalists who decided they're going to try and play Dark Souls or Elden Ring. Like, I hate to say it, okay? And I don't really hate to say it, but this is the way games have worked for a long time, is that if you win, you get, right? So providing players who are your most engaged, your most willing to play, your hardest going players, the ones that are willing to run and gun all the time, right? Those guys should be rewarded more than anyone else. More than me, even. Because I play Halo Infinite quite casually. But I understand that, and I'm not worried about my appearance in the game. I'm not worried as much about my appearance as I should be, as I want to be, because I can't really go anywhere with it. If I had somewhere to put my resources, my player skill into, I would feel much more happy with it. If I had somewhere where I could go, all right, look, if I was to play, like 40 games of team deathmatch, maybe I could get X amount of kills in each one, and then I could get the helmet for 500 kills, right? And you think about it in that way, and you start to outline kind of a way you want to play and a way to play, and that lets you extend the way you play into the game and then have a reward for it. Rewards should be based on what you've done, not how long you've done it. And that's really all I have to say for this video. Um, Thank you all for watching. This has been Spy Pie Gaming. Don't forget to press like down below as well as subscribe. We have a thank you button down below for anyone who would like to directly donate to the channel through YouTube, as well as a Patreon and Twitter pages that you can go and shout us out on if you want to talk with us. You can also find us in game on ESO, typically within the week, as well as other games. If you see my name, say hello, and I'm definitely down to talk with you guys about anything you want to know. I've been playing games for a long time, and I like to see the industry growing. I like to see the industry changing and evolving to fit players. And recent years have shown me that oftentimes the progress made has been to reward players, instead of rewarding players, is to instead trick players into feeling rewarded. And it really kills games for me, man. So I would like to see battle passes kind of just fade away or adapt into player skill. Thank you all for watching. This has been Spy Pie Gaming TV once again, and I will see you all in the next video.